We are going live. Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome to Bharat Marg. Welcome
Hare
to
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Vinay ji, Narender bhai. Thank you for joining Bharat Marg. Today we are going to discuss about Sikh for Justice kickstarts Khalistan Referendum in Canada. Pro-Khalistan group Sikhs For Justice has announced plans to hold the Khalistani referendum on September 18 this year in Canada, means now in Canadian capital, that is Toronto, where we are talking to you from. And click and watch the discussion with Vinay and Narender ji on Khalistan referendum. Okay, do make sure to comment and share, folks. But before going further, friends, make sure to like the video, subscribe the channel, and press the notification bell. That is a humongous amount of support to us, and that means a lot to us. Okay, to keep going and working and exposing our enemies of our desh and dharma. Okay, but before getting started. Okay, to Vinay ji, what's happening in Toronto? Sikh for Justice kickstarts Khalistan referendum in Canada. Give us some insight, please.
Yeah, so Sikhs For Justice has announced this referendum to, for Khalistan. So they have been doing this since 2021. Actually, they already did this in the UK and I believe in some other parts of Europe, and I think in Switzerland and in Italy also have allowed the Khalistan referendums. And the UK one happened in October of 2021. They claim, the SFJ claimed that more than 400,000 Sikhs have voted so far. But the UK watchers, okay, so that there was no verification of the persons arriving for the Khalistani referendum were even Sikhs, Pakistanis, or Afghans. So coverage of the event showed that the same set of people were brought in to vote repeatedly. So the same guys came back, voted again. Wow. Same guy, came back, voted again. So, and finally, SFJ said, yeah, about 10,000 to 12,000 people participated. But according to the UK watchers, a gathering of just about 100 to 150 people were seen during the initial hours of the referendum. So now, they've brought this to Canada, and on September 18th, they're holding the same referendum. And I'm seeing a few posters here and there, in and around the Toronto area, the GTA area. Yesterday, I was driving around and I saw them somewhere in some of the major intersections. How is it going to go? There are a lot of gurudwaras in Toronto area.
We will come there. Okay, we will come there. We will take a minute from Narender bhai. And asking, okay, Narender bhai, what does it mean really?
No, we are not afraid of these things. We don't give any importance to this, because simultaneously, in contradiction to that, there is a healthy democracy in Punjab going on. So these 4,000 or 5,000, 40,000
there is votes, a echo here, so if Vinay ji, can you put yourself on mute if you are not, please? We will try that.
If they are getting 40,000 or 50,000, it is not going to affect anything in India. At least there is some virus infection in Canada. We know it, and this infection spreads because of careless attitude of the Congress government, which was there. Now, after the Modi government, lot of things have been done, because this SFI is nothing but actually this is a base from Pakistan. This is a Pakistan-run propaganda, because these SFI people, they want Khalistan in only Indian area. They're not talking about the place where Guru Nanak ji had taken birth.
Oh no! Don't talk about that, please.
And they don't talk about these things because they want just in India. Actually, this vindicate that they are Pakistani handles, nothing else. And people of India knows. Many educated Sikhs also knows this. Lot of uneducated Sikhs are there. Lot of Sikhs with vested interest are there, with less knowledge is there. And this is the fault of actually Indian government. because there were some number of people which are influenced by, because of money or other factors, are influenced by the Pakistani propaganda. They are doing it in here. They do not love India actually. And some gurdwaras from the even pre-1947 era, they are hand in hand with the anti-Indian peoples. So they supported this. I think Indian government should take cognizance of this. If the Modi government had taken the cognizance, because in farmer agitations also, these silly people, they gathered money for farmers and they diverted the money for these anti-national activities also. This is in the cognizance of NI. This is in the cognizance of NI. And NI have taken actions also. A lot of action has already been started. But I think government of India should take it very seriously. And these people should be plugged from the very beginning. But this is not,
One minute,
there is no effect in India. I can tell you there is no effect in India. I am from Punjab area. I am presently living in Haryana. I am a Punjabi guy. I am telling you, they people have no influence presently in Punjab also. I can assure you in Canada also they will be defeated. The Hindus, Punjabi Hindus should raise voice against them. So I will request from your channel, all the Punjabi Hindus and the nationalist Sikhs who are watching this channel, they should raise voice against these stupid people. They are nothing. They are Pakistanis. Their mothers are Muslims, or their DNA is somewhere Muslim, and they are doing such type of things.
Like one of our friend says, in our program, DNA में कुछ गड़बड़ है, But anyway,
ये पन्नू को तो देख के ही पता लगता है कि उसके DNA में प्रॉब्लम
है. Okay, and Amit Patel ji
says, ऐसे भाई आकाश का फिजिकली देख के पता लगता है कि he is not a Sikh, he is a DNA of Muslim. So only few people who have some Muslim component, they are behind this.
Absolutely. Amit Patel ji says, Amit Patel ji says, Punjab will be never separate from India, but half of Punjab is separate from India right now. Right? A big portion of
this Pakistan occupied Punjab is required to be liberated actually.
Absolutely.
And the day is not far that Punjab will be also with our in India.
Absolutely.
These Pannu like people will not get place anywhere in the world. And they will run away into the sea.
Absolutely. Let's get the Canadian perspective from Vinay ji. Okay, Vinay ji, you are on mute. Okay, so Vinay ji, say how much impact it has on these guys play divide and rule, isn't it? The white guys here, right? Everywhere they do the same thing. Their business is the same thing, and they do with the LTT back in Scarborough and do with the Khalistan here in Brampton. Okay, what do you say?
So, just to give you a little bit perspective on the Canadian side,
are the people in Canada sick and tired of Jagmeet Singh yet?
No, yeah, that's where I'm going actually. Justin Trudeau is the Prime Minister of the country, and he is part of the Liberal Party. He is the head of the Liberal Party, and his government is a minority government supported by Jagmeet Singh, who is the head of the National Democratic Party (NDP). And Jagmeet Singh is a known vocal Khalistani supporter
who has been banned from coming to India.
He has been banned from coming to India. So just to give you a little bit of background, what
for his terrorist connections.
Right. Narender Bhai just mentioned about NIA, right? NIA actually sent a team to Canada, I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. And they came and met RCMP and some of the ministers in the Trudeau government and mentioned their issues with the Khalistan and whatever the organization Sikhs For Justice and the movement that's going on here and all that stuff. And the Trudeau government said, yeah, they'll investigate and they'll look into it. But the problem is, because it's a minority government, because he's supported by Jagmeet Singh, he really cannot do anything, because in case he says anything against the Khalistani or he takes action, Jagmeet Singh is going to say, hey, buddy, see this plug here? I'm going to pull the plug. And then guess what? Your government is going to fall. So Trudeau is basically...
Vinay ji, let me ask you this question.
Mhm.
Let us put you in perspective. Okay, you are talking about a prime minister of Canada who took on the white guys with the trucks, okay, by just switching to emergency, and you say that he cannot deal with a small population in Canada.
At the end of the day, his government is at the mercy of Jagmeet Singh. If Jagmeet Singh pulls the plug, his government is going to fall. So that is where it's a big problem for him. So he's not going to go against Jagmeet Singh. Jagmeet Singh literally controls the government, and Trudeau is a puppet in his hands. So Jagmeet Singh is a Khalistani supporter. He's a pro-Khalistani. And if Trudeau says, you know what, I'm going to take action against the Khalistani movement and whatever, Jagmeet Singh is just going to pull the plug. So there you go. That's the issue there. So really, the way the Canadian gurudwaras are structured, a lot of gurudwaras are peace-loving, India-loving, nation-loving organizations. And these people are just, they want to go into the gurudwaras, pray, and do their, they do a lot of humanitarian causes. I see some of the gurudwaras here. They every weekend they do the cleanup of streets, and it's a great cause actually. And they distribute food for free and all that stuff. But there are certain gurudwaras that are in the hands of these Khalistanis, and as Narender Bhai again said, these are all funded by Pakistanis.
Vinay, let's face the truth. Okay, let's face the truth. Today in Canada, no Indian government official can go into any gurudwara other than just one gurudwara, that is Nanaksar Gurudwara. Okay, that's it.
I know.
In fact, I arranged for one meeting to meet the Afghan nationals. When the Afghan Sikhs were shot by the terrorists in Afghanistan, leadership was wiped out. I arranged for the people because they were looking for Indian visas to go. So we arranged an Indian visa camp in one of the gurudwaras. Okay,
right.
And when it was almost arranged, because the people wanted it so badly, they wanted visa to come to India. They are having difficult time in getting visa from the Indian consulate. So I arranged from Bharat Marg, we spoke to them and arranged the camp for them to give a visa. But you know what? No Gurudwara will allow them to come and do the program. So it's not a minuscule Gurudwara, Vinayji. It's
no, but what I'm trying to say is the majority of the Sikhs are not in support of Khalistan. Okay, right. The majority of the Sikhs. There are a small group who are in the hands of
at least not vocal.
Yeah, I mean, like
I think in Canada, the proportion of supporter is too much. In Canada,
I'm not saying no, but the reason you see that is because in Canada, the people who are supporters of Khalistan movement, they have a big voice. That is the problem. They are a minority, but they have a big voice because they control the media.
Government. The government of Canada is unstable.
Exactly, and they also control the government.
Unstable government is there.
That is the thing. The minority Khalistani movement is actually supporting the government. Right now, Trudeau's government is in the hands of these Khalistani people. And they also control a lot of the media. I mean, Mr. Dilipan Ji will be able to elaborate on that, because I mean, you can tell because you are a journalist and you can talk about it. You know that a lot of the media is controlled by these pro-Khalistanis.
And Vinay Ji, Amit Ji is having a question for you. Okay. What about Conservative Party in Canada? Are they not pro-Khalistan?
Absolutely. I mean, there may be a few people here and there, but as a whole, Conservative Party is a lot better than the Liberals, I would say.
Okay. Yes, Narender Bhai.
Actually, Conservative Party also require votes, and they are getting votes from this, because this virus has been like anything in Canada. Canadian Sikhs are infected. I know a good proportion of Canadian Sikhs are in favor of Khalistan because they are not for so many years they are away from India. They don't know their roots also. They have forgotten their roots because the Gurdwaras from 1910 they are showing something different to the Sikh population. The new generations of Sikhs are not getting the right education. There is no big Sikh saint now presently who can lead this community in the true direction. The Sikhs are now directionless, even in India. They don't have a big saint to lead them to the proper channel they have. They have only people like Bhindrawala, the people with some fundamentalist type mindset. They people are leading some group of young angry guys. That guys who are not keeping even hairs. See the face of Punnu. He's not even wear turban properly. He's not uh, following all the rules of Sikhs. And these people have become the leader of the Sikhs because by
It doesn't
force,
matter whether
by
he is
money.
following or not, Narendra Bhai. People are following him.
People because they have money, they have power, and the guided youth there, many Sikh youths, they also do not understand their basics of their book, basic of Guru Granth. They are away from Guru Granth now. They are directionless also. And problem is from India. Indian government from last 70 years after independence have done nothing to improve the culture or environment or ecosystem of Gurdwara. But from last 70 years, more than 70 years, because from 1910 or 1925 onward, after Gurdwara Management Act, they are continuously increasing the distance from the Hindus. And the government of India has done nothing there. The Congress even tried more to make this difference by for their just to rule the Punjab. I will request from this channel platform, from your channel's platform, the Indian government must now relook into their strategy. The Modi government must interfere and see
But
and interfere into the Gurdwaras management.
I don't
Gurdwaras,
I don't understand how they align with Pakistan and Mohammedans. You know, uh,
just because they don't want,
all their gurus were killed by
actually,
them.
Gurdwaras have a lot of monies. These Akalis are money-minded people. They want this way or that way to capture these Gurdwaras, and therefore they want to keep apart these Khatris Hindus because they are good donator. Their donation is too much to the Gurdwara because they believe in Guru Granth Sahib, but they keep them out of voting, and they don't. They want a difference between Sesdhari and Kesdhari Sikhs, and they want to continue capture the Gurdwaras. The
Yeah,
government of India should look into this and should take the correct step in the right direction. The ecosystem in Gurdwara should be pro-nationalist. That
absolutely,
can solve the problem. Because
absolutely.
in India also there is darkness. So Canadian people have no access even. That is not an Indian land. The government there is unstable presently. They require voting of the Sikhs and these uh, hardliner Sikhs. They
Absolutely.
they have
Narendra Bhai,
money.
before
They have
going
power.
further, Narendra Bhai, before going further for the viewers' purpose, friends, you can now become part of the Sanskrit course of Bharat Marg and register online for free by sending a WhatsApp to us. And also, you know that we do private luxury trips for pilgrimage only. You can become a part of it, and you can visit northeast, southwest. It is senior citizen friendly and also special need friendly. Now you can become a member of Bharat Marg and become part of all the good deeds what we do, and also support Bharat Marg. And if you want more information, please do send us a WhatsApp to our WhatsApp number, which is +1 647 964 4790. And also you can subscribe for one dharmic message for free. Okay, but anyway, going to the last word here, I want to go to Vinayji. And Vinayji, say me what kind of impact it has. What do you have the last word on the Sikh referendum? that is
So
happening.
the major thing that has happened within the Sikh community is these guys are many of them are confused. So what happened? The a lot of these people don't know the history. When things started happening in 1984 or pre 1984, when the Indian Army entered the Golden Temple, and they they killed Bindranwale and killed a whole bunch of Sikh terrorists who were hiding inside the Golden Temple. The Sikhs went on a rampage,
Correct.
and
What are you saying, Vinay ji? Son.
no, I'm just kind of going into the background. And in
Okay.
1984, Indira Gandhi was
No,
assassinated.
there was no rampage after Golden Temple when army entered. There was no rampage in Punjab. Let me clear here. There was no rampage.
No. This what has happened is certain Sikh people were very upset about that, and her own guards killed her, and as a result, the Congress government that was ruling were completely upset about the Sikhs killing Indira Gandhi, and they went on a rampage and started.
Yeah.
They went on a literally killing a lot of Sikhs, and the Sikhs basically
Congress
ran away from the
increased the
country.
gap.
Oh,
What Congress, Narender Bhai? What Congress? People are putting Jagdish T-shirt and going inside the thing, but Modi ji cannot go. You and me
I
cannot
understand,
get
but
into the
what
Golden Temple or Harimandir Sahib, but people with the T-shirt of Jagdish Titler can go, and Gandhi Parivar can go, and Gandhi Parivar can rule Punjab. Yes.
So these people who actually said that the Indian government persecuted them, they came to Canada, UK, and many other countries. Okay, and
That's
they came
what-
in, and they were completely scared of anything, and they just led a simple, peaceful life here because they said that they were persecuted by the Indian government, and they said, you know what, we'll just take up some jobs here and just make a living out of it. But the second and third generation that came, their kids and their grandkids are the ones that are coming out, and they have no idea about the background. No idea. They don't know that it was the Congress government that persecuted the Sikhs there, and these guys are now creating this Khalistani movement because of social media, and all that stuff. And the funny thing is that this is the irony of it, and I laugh about it. The referendum is happening outside of India, and these guys living in Canada, living in UK, a small section of the society of Canada, literally, they're not even Indians, they are Canadians, and they are saying Punjab should be separated. Punjab should become Khalistan. So it is like, I'm just giving you a very quick example. It is like basically a small group of Indians, like let's say a small group of people from UP or Bihar or somewhere. They are saying that America, we want California to become a separate country. Like, what has a group of Indians here telling America to become, to separate
what?
California? Like that is crazy.
Vinay ji, for all your talk, Amit Patel ji is saying, Sikhs are not blaming Congress party. They are just blaming Hindus.
This is actually, Dalipanji, this problem is actually from Gurdwara's ecosystem. These Gurdwaras was forcibly taken from Udasin by power. And now these people who are occupying Gurdwara, they also are afraid of this power. And these people are Muslim people having money and support from outside. Therefore, these Gurdwara want to keep them also with them. That's why they are not, there is problem there. Indian government should start correction from there.
Absolutely.
Then the correction will come. Otherwise, correction will not come properly. Always there will be some problem because this Gurdwara's management is very shaky in Haryana and Punjab. They are just behind money. Absolutely. They have nothing to take from the teaching of gurus. They are not following teaching of gurus. They are just want money. They called it big gulak, bada gulak, or chota gulak. This is the word used by these people. They are just behind the bullet.
Narendra bhai, you didn't answer my question. One last question. It's a last word for you. Okay. And how come the people with Jagdish Titler T-shirt can go inside? And
That's what I was saying.
Nand
That's
Parivar
what
can go
that is.
inside.
That's what I am saying. They are going there because the ecosystem in Gurdwara have problem. The people sitting in Gurdwaras, management, they are getting money. They are behind money. They are there for money. They are not
They get Sorupa.
because they are getting money and they are getting money from Pannu also. They want money from Canadian Sikhs, and that's why they are doing like because they have nothing to take from the teaching of gurus. They are not following gurus.
I'll take the last word, one word, okay?
I think you might have seen last 2 days. Just a minute, Dilipji. Day before yesterday on Janmashtami, some Guru Granthi have recited the bhajans of gurus, the bhajan written by gurus in praise of Shri Krishna. And one day after, there was so much pressure upon them from Canadian Sikhs to be apologistic. They were just apologistic. For what apologistic? We could not, even people are not able to understand. They were just singing bhajans written in their Guru Granth Sahib by their gurus.
No.
And after reciting these bhajans, they were apologistic.
Like Nupur Sharma event. It's not new. It's not new.
So true.
It's from their book. But anyway, last word, what I really amazed, the people who see this video have to know from Vinayji. Vinayji, to know the success, the number talks. Rest all listen. Okay, you spoke about the number. Just say it. Let's finish. How many people are voting in this Khalistani referendum?
My guess is a few hundred people.
But because the news magazine, of course, they get a lot of advertisements. They say 450,000 people are voting, at least.
In Canada, this is possible. They can get 50,000 votes.
Sikhs for Justice themselves said in the UK they were expecting 400,000 people, but only about 10,000 to 12,000 people showed up. Sikhs for Justice, this is not my statement, but their statement. But the media actually who was watching over this, they said that only a few hundred people came and voted. Absolutely. In Canada, also maybe a little more or a little less, I'm not sure. But my guess is probably a few hundred or maybe a couple of thousand.
And RP wins it off all for us. Referendum 2020 was a flop. Is a flop, rather.
2021 was a flop, and this is going to be a flop. But the thing is, end of the day, I just want to say one word and one sentence, actually, that this referendum has no meaning for India. Because like I just told you, it is like a small section of people telling America, please separate California. So how can these people tell India that you separate Punjab? It's not the wish of the Punjabis. It's not the wish of the Indian government. They have no idea about anything. They're totally confused.
Okay, let me wind it off by saying something, okay, for the viewers' benefit. Number one, okay, I want people to ask where we are going wrong when you are doing this, watching this video. Brampton, which is a heavily intense population-wise on a sector, they don't call themselves Indian, they say South Asian or whatever they call, and Brampton has the highest criminal rate and crime rate, okay? And many of the people who are involved are youngsters. And in fact, recently, the Canadian police have released 11 wanted criminals, okay, at large. And unfortunately, all 11 from one sector, one section of community, okay. And second, most drug abuse as well as the drug business happens from Brampton. In fact, I told before that I was stopped in the checkpoint a few times. I asked why my car is checked when I'm coming from US, and they said, you know what, because you have a Brampton license. What does it mean? Because Brampton license, we get a warning, that we need to check the car because there could be drugs. But I want to know why our youngsters are choosing the wrong path. Who is responsible for it? Is it is so-called the worship place? Is it is the so-called the family setup? What is happening really? but we need to have a really referendum on that, is my opinion.
They're
But anyway,
brainwashed. That's all I can say.
absolutely. And thank you for Vinay ji as well as Narendra Bhai for coming and
Thank you, Ji.
sharing this. And I want to say you to the viewers, okay, stick around. This week we will do again one fully Hindi panel, okay, for the benefit of the Hindi viewers, okay. So because it's an important subject and what is happening. So thank you, Vinay ji. Thank you, Narendra Bhai. Hare Krishna, Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Khalistan.
You know what a
Hare Krishna.
incredible time it was. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.